For those of you who play survival Minecraft, you know that one of the most annoying things that you have to do is to wait for furnaces to smelt their goods. I mean, it takes a ridiculous amount of time and you just want to build, you just want your glass immediately. Not to mention the fact that it always feels like you run out of fuel too quick and you have to go mining for more coal. Luckily, out there on the internet, there are quite a few super mega smelters that you can use or build with quite little redstone knowledge in order to solve this situation. And so today, I want to show you how to build my super smelter that I built in my episode of Hermitcraft yesterday. And for those of you who watched the Hermitcraft episode, I did solve the fuel situation, so this is actually an improved version that I am going to build on the Hermitcraft server over the next coming days. But yeah, this thing looks absolutely mad, and it utilizes the zero-tick trick that is currently available in the game, and by my knowledge, there's no plans from Mojang to remove it, so well, because of that, we're going to use it. And this is a design from Ilmango, that little module over there. And I put two of them together in order to power this massive, massive smelter. So with this thing, you don't have to worry about fuel, and time isn't really as important. So let me demonstrate by smelting down 2 stacks of sand, which will quickly be picked up by that chest. And these minecarts will carry it over, and you can see the chest is completely empty. The machines in the background start up, which indicates that we are using fuel, so it's creating more fuel for us. And if we come down here, we should see our items, our glass items coming through, and look at that speed. Oh my goodness. This is just so satisfying to watch. And within seconds, and I mean literally seconds, this is... yeah, all done. That's 2 stacks of glass. I was confused for a second as to why I got 3 extra, but those are the 3 that I got from the furnace that I demonstrated over there. So the cool thing about this design is that it refuels itself whenever it needs to, and then it stops. And a lot of people may think that these machines over here, the zero-tick generators, are laggy, and they're quite laggy for the client. So for my frame rate, they are a little bit heavy on the frame rate, but for the server, they're actually a lot better, a lot friendlier than your ordinary massive bamboo farm or sugarcane farm or kelp farm or whatever you have. So this is actually quite server friendly. So let's go ahead and build this machine, and it is a 64 furnace array, and I mean, you could probably go bigger with it, but I feel like 64 is a good number. It smelts things really, really quickly, and it works very good with the bamboo fuel generators in the back of it. Now I will say this, you're gonna need quite a few hoppers. I think it's 3 stacks and then a couple more for the mine carts that's going around. Now before we start placing down the blocks, I thought I'd show you a little bit about the size of this thing. So your input will be a chest, which will be at your floor or in your floor like this, and you enter the items in there. It's very important that it is in the floor because we need this very block here for our mine carts to stop at, as you will see in a little bit. And then the height of this from on the actual output, which is on the ice here, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. And then from there you can see that that input chest is going to be 2 blocks taller than that. So it's a total of 8 blocks tall that you need to sort of clear out, or at least account for when you build this. So don't build it at Y level 8, that's not going to work. So it is a good idea to start from the bottom and work yourself up, specifically in survival. First of all, you're going to want a 32 long strip of ice, and it's going to be 2 wide, and do use packed ice for this so that you don't have to worry about any melting ice as you go. You could also skip using ice, but then the whole thing is going to be a little bit slower, and let's be honest, everybody loves ice. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is come up 3 blocks, because we're actually going to put down the furnaces before we put down any hoppers or droppers underneath. So come up 3 blocks, temporary like that, punch them away, and then place your furnaces down like this, facing outwards. Once you got your furnaces placed down, come to where you want the front to be. So this is going to be where I have my input chest eventually, on this side here. And then start placing down your hoppers underneath. And you want to go, the first one you want are going to be pointing down, just like that. And then you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... not that, 6, 7. So you have 7 hoppers pointing into this one being number 8. And you want to do that all the way back. And this just made me realize that we actually don't need the ice in the very back here. So after your last facing down hopper, you can go ahead and punch that ice away or dig that ice away if you want to save it. Next, we're going to install our droppers. So we're going to need a dropper on each hopper that's facing downwards. We want to look up and place the droppers down like that so that they're facing downwards. And now that we have that complete, we can go ahead and install a clock for each one of these droppers. So what I would recommend is placing some custom full block like that next to the dropper, and then build out a 3x3 like that, put a block there, and then a comparator here facing out from that dropper into a repeater over this side, and then redstone dust like this. Once you've got all of your clocks placed down like this, you can go ahead and add some sort of block to block the water streams here. And glass is always a block that looks nice with water next to it. Next, you're going to want to place down your water streams, and you start in the back. You need 2 water sources per each module, and then make sure that where the water ends on this very block here, place down a pressure plate of stone, and then you can continue your water streams like so. And that is the collection side of things completely done. So now we got to worry about the hoppers and input of the fuel and the furnace. And first of all, we're going to start with the fuel hoppers, and they will go like this. You have to shift click on top of the furnace like this so that they connect to the side, and do the same on the other side. And now go ahead and place your top hoppers, which is going to be feeding the items in, and they go like this all over the place. And you're ending up with this very, very cool looking thing. The next thing we need to do is to add an overflow protection to the system, and this is because the fuel mechanism is so quick that sometimes it will stack up some entities over here if we don't have this. It's not crucially needed, but I think that it's just nicer for servers. So what you want to do is come out like this in the front of the machine, 2 blocks on either side just like that, and then encase those 2 blocks like this. You'll end up with a pair of granny glasses just like that. Inside our granny glasses, we're going to put lava sources there, and that's going to create a little bit of a burning situation there. That's where our overflow items are going to go. Next, place some packed ice there and there. Build this up to make sure that we contain those items. After that, go ahead and add some ice, some packed ice right next to these hoppers. This is what is going to be transporting our fuel at super quick speed so that we don't run out of fuel. Should now have something that looks a little bit like this. It looks really, really, really weird. And just to reiterate, this is the front of the machine at this moment in time, and that is the back. Next, you want to grab iron bars or glass panes. You can choose whatever you want, and then place them down over the fuel hoppers just like this. And this is going to help us align the items so that the items travel on the ice and the hoppers at the same time, filling the first empty hopper. And there we go. And then at the very front of the machine, this is something you want to do now because otherwise it's going to be a little bit hard to get to later. Place down another block on top of your clock blocks on either side like that, and then grab a comparator. Put your comparator down there and there. And these are the comparators that are going to control the fuel systems, making sure that the system knows when it runs out of fuel. At this moment in time, let's focus on the input mechanics. So what we want to do is place a few blocks over there. Then we want to grab some rails, and we're going to run these rails all over these hoppers just like this. And at the end of the rail, just put a block. A solid block is required right there, and then do the second rail. Now we're going to want to come up 2 blocks in the front here like this, and then we're going to want a detector rail for this. So instead of that power rail, we want the detector rail there, and then go ahead and place another detector rail over there. This is where our minecarts will be sitting. Next, we need to install our lock-in mechanism for the minecart. So go ahead first of all and place down 2 fences like that. You can use any fences, and I think you can even use end rods for that if you'd really like to. And then come out 2 blocks like that temporarily and place down your piston on the second block so that you have a space in between just like that, and then do the same on the other side. And you should be looking at something like this. Now we need to install the redstone to control those pistons, and we're going to take that redstone signal from these 2 detector rails right here, and we're going to use a comparator for that. Comparator goes right there, and then we're going to have to wire this up with a bunch of repeaters, and we want to set this timing so that the minecarts always pull out a full stack each with every time it sends itself away. And that's because we have 32 times 2 furnaces per raid. That's 64, and 64 items that can be dropped on that space as well. So we want to make sure that we pick up the exact amount of items, because that just increases the efficiency. The way I did this in a single player world is to use 4 repeaters on full delay on the bottom line here, just like that. And that runs into a block and a redstone torch with a block on top. 3 blocks more going into the piston, just like that. And then we want a repeater here on 2 ticks and 2 more pistons on 4 ticks, just like that. And then we need a redstone dust right there. Timings are always a little bit awkward on servers, so make sure that you double check this on your server, because on the Hermitcraft server, yeah, this timing wasn't ideal. I need to probably raise it up a little bit more. But in a single player world, this should equal to exactly picking up 1 stack from the minecarts and the chest. Speaking about the chest, that's actually what we can do next. So go ahead and place a double chest on top of these 2 rails, just like that. And once you've done that, you can punch away these 2 rails and put 2 blocks here. This is essentially where you're going to be standing. This is going to be your floor right there. And if you want to, you can totally go ahead and hide everything here. You can hide all of this if you don't like seeing it, or you can install windows if you want to see it. I mean, the possibilities are endless as long as you can open this chest, and as long as you don't bud power anything here. Everything should be fine. Now you can go ahead as well and put in both of your hopper minecarts that are going to be feeding the furnaces with the stuff. So they go on top of there, and they should be sitting just like that. When there's nothing in the chest, everything should be good. You also need to make sure that all rails are powered, so go ahead and make sure you put redstone blocks on top like this. Now pay attention that when you've placed your hopper minecarts, the first 8 rails or 10 rails or so will be powered, but they're not actually powered. They're just powered by the detector rail, and that won't actually be the case once they get released. So you do need some in the beginning, and then I usually just have a look at where I place them down and make sure that I power everything as I go along. And there we go. Yeah, that looks fun. That looks fantastic. Did I just said fantastic? I just invented a new word. Now before we go any further, let's make sure we encase these ice streams here, because we're going to place down water on top of them. So use glass or whatever you want. Just make sure that they are encased all the way down like this. We're now ready to start working on the fuel input of the machine. So at this moment in time, if you don't want to use the bamboo fuel, as long as you can fuel these from this side over here or from the other side, you are actually pretty good to go. You can modify it slightly to suit your own fuel needs. But I'm going to use the bamboo farms that Ilmango has created, because it's just a blast to see them work. So what you're going to want to do for the bamboo extension is to add 2 packed ice like this, and then you need to grab yourself some chests. You can also use cake, but cake is kind of weird, so I'm going to use chests. It's actually going to help to use some packed ice here as well. And then place down your double chest or your 2 cakes, just like this. It needs to be a double one, because otherwise the items will not be aligned correctly. And then come out this way, just like this, a few blocks. I'm going to use 3 blocks here. I think that's going to be fine. And then make sure to also encase that, because again, wherever we have packed ice here, we're actually going to be placing down water, so we don't want any leakage anywhere. This next part is installing the bamboo maker machine of doom. And again, I don't take any credit for this part. This machine is completely made by Ilmango, and he has a video about it, so I am going to put that in the description as well. To make sure I position this correctly, I'm going to use this hopper here, the last fuel hopper, as my reference point. And from that hopper on the glass here, go 1 block up and then go 2 blocks out. And then on top of that block, you want to place down your first dirt block. And your second dirt block is going to go towards you, facing the front of the machine, just like this. And then you want to do 12 blocks, 12 times 2 this way. I would recommend doing both sides at the same time, just because it's a little bit easier to remember where to place the blocks and stuff like that. And to be honest, I really hope that I did position this correctly, because I think I've rebuilt this 3 times now. Anyway, you can then go ahead and punch these temporary blocks away, and you should end up with something like this. Now for the 0-tick bamboo maker. We want to place down pistons. Sticky pistons is important, all the way like this, directly touching the dirt, facing towards the front of the machine. And on the other side, we want to leave an air gap in between, just like this. And that air gap should line up with the ice path that we've already set up for ourselves and the chest there. And I think I actually positioned this correctly this time. Yes. Again, make sure to make both sides at the same time. It's just so much easier. Next, we're gonna need to place down some observers. So come down 1 block from the second piston facing the machine, and then place down an observer facing upwards just like that. And then you want to go 1, 2, and then another observer, 1, 2, another observer, all the way down. And at the end of it, you're gonna have 4 observers punch away your scaffolding blocks or whatever you're using. You're gonna have 4 observers facing upwards just like that. Do the same on the other side. And by the other side, I meant this other side. And then we also need to do it over there. This is a little bit confusing. When you got all your observers placed down, put sticky pistons on top of them, just like this. Now, when we have this situation here, we can go ahead and wire it. And we're going to wire it just like El Mango, using powered rails, because it's a lot better for the server performance. So go ahead and place blocks underneath like this. We are going to be placing our input clock right over here. It would be better if it would be placed here, but the space is really tight. So therefore, I've decided to place it over on this corner on either side. In case you've seen El Mango's video, you know what I'm talking about. So first, put powered rails underneath just like this, all the way up until the last observer. And then in front of that, we're going to be putting an observer facing that way, just like that. And this guy's going to have a rail in front of him. And then we're going to go this way to power the other side. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. We then need an observer right here. That should be aligned with this gap in between here. And that's because we're going to have water on top here. We could just use rails, but we need water on top there. So we need an observer to transfer the signal. Another rail over there. And then another observer there. And another observer right there. Very nice. And then the rail all the way down here as well. Then we install the clock. So we need an observer that detects this rail here. And then we bring that signal around just like that. We then need another observer here that detects that rail over there. And then we need a dropper right there. It can face any direction. It doesn't really matter. And then next to that dropper, we're going to have 1 more observer facing in like that. Slime block on the back of it. And then we need a sticky piston right there. And this is now our clock done for the side pistons. They're going to zero tick the whole thing. It's very confusing and complex, but this should work. Let's try it out. Put a block down and then a lever, and nothing works. I missed something. Oh, I placed down this observer wrong. Sorry, that observer is of course detecting the dropper and then powering the rail. There we go. That's better. Next, we can go ahead and do the zero tick things that is going to make this whole thing work. So, on top of these pistons, we're going to need temporary blocks. And these are very important that you remember to remove. And then we place observers on top of them like that. And then, like I said, remove these blocks. Very, very important. Do the same on this side. And then you need a block that transfers the signal in front of these observers, just like this. And at this point in time, I recommend you take a breather and just take a look at this thing. I mean, it's starting to look pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, so now we're gonna install the slime pusher that cuts the bamboo off. So what we want to do is on top of this rail where you have the clock, put a observer facing upwards. We're then going to use a door just like that on top of that observer, and then an observer on top of that into a note block. Another observer this facing this way like so, and then we need a sticky piston here with slime blocks, 12 of them. Connect them like this all the way along the dirt path like that. That's going to be the blade that cuts the bamboo off. We also need an update check here, so put a dropper on top of the slime blocks and then grab yourself 2 more rails on top like that. And now when we power this thing, crazy things happen. Now here's an annoying little thing that I should have thought about in the beginning of building this entire thing, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you. It's a 50-50 right now, but if you are facing south and north in this fashion here with your bamboo makers, then as you can see, not all blocks are being moved. And that basically cuts the fuel production down in half, which is a little bit sad. It doesn't mean it's not the end of the world. The fuel will still come in quickly into the machine. But the smartest thing would have been if I knew this from the beginning, but I didn't because I'm an idiot, and built this machine instead of west to east. This smelter part should be north to south. Then I wouldn't have this issue. But I'm an idiot, and we're just gonna pretend as if that didn't happen. So next, we are going to encase the bamboo in a non-movable block, the glazed terracotta. You can also use immovable block like obsidian and stuff here, but I really think this green cooked terracotta looks really cool. And the way you do this is you encapsulate it like that, and on this side. And the next thing we do is to plant down our bamboo underneath this terracotta. You gotta make sure that they are grown to the first stage, so either let them grow on their own or just use a little bit of bone meal like that. Now we get to use this scallium lime green glass because it's beautiful, because we need to encase and make sure that our bamboo is shot down into the water stream. So all the way over here, go ahead and add limestone glass. It has to be lime. No, it can be any block, but limestone glass is the prettiest. Now we're almost actually done. We're actually almost done. This is incredible. So now come down underneath here and we have to do the collection stream. So what we want to do is next to this observer here that I was talking about earlier, put some packed ice down, and you want to actually put down 7 blocks of packed ice. 7 just like that. And then we want to come down 1 block after 7 and do the remainder and connect it up to the input line just like that. Make sure to encase this in glass before you put any water down, because otherwise bad things will happen. All right, so once you've got both of the sides done and you've put down all of the glass or whatever you use to hold the water back, you can go ahead and place down the water and just hope for the best. Hope that you didn't miss a block anywhere, because that would be disastrous. So the first block you place down here on top of the observer should make it all the way to the edge like that, and then you put your second block down there, which should make it around that corner. And if it did, you've actually measured this perfectly, and I'm very proud of you. And then we want to run the water stream all the way down here. So again, use pressure plates in order to place down a new water source like this. And then just follow the water. This time you don't actually have to place it down on the last water source. You can place it down afterwards, because the items have enough momentum on ice. And then you just do this all the way down. And I only now realized that I seem to have messed up my lava placement in the beginning of this video. So we need to do a little bit of a fix in order to fix this. Don't worry though. I think we can get around this. So here where we have our comparator and repeaters, let's punch those 2 away and just replace those with slabs. And that actually fixes the issue, because now the items shoot under the slabs, and that looks a little bit cooler as well. Just remember to put back the comparator and the repeater. The repeater should be on 4 ticks delay, just like that. Nice. This should also mean that once your water reaches there, it actually just stops by that slab, so you don't need a stone pressure plate in the end. Very good. So once you've got your water streams placed down, let's go ahead and connect the fuel machines together with these comparators that we placed down in the beginning of this tutorial. And what you're going to want to do is send that redstone pulse into a block like that, and then have a block there that you can pick that signal up from. Put a redstone dust on top, another block there, and then come out this way. And then you're going to want a repeater right there. That's going to take whatever signal strength the comparator is outputting and maximize it right there. You're also going to want to make sure that we only get a signal from this when this hopper is completely full, because that's the time we want the machine to stop. So next to the comparator, put another comparator and a redstone block right there. That's going to lock that comparator, make sure that it can't output anything unless the signal strength is 15. Then drag this line all the way back like this, and once you are next to the rails like this, then go this way all the way. Very, very nice. And then put a block there underneath the piston, and a redstone torch will do just fine right there. Now, while you wire this up, replace this repeater in the beginning here with a redstone torch. That will allow you to see where you need your next repeater, and wherever the redstone burns out, you place a repeater, and then you continue just like this. And then in the corner, put down a block because it looks better, and then a repeater like that, and then keep this line going all the way up till the torch, and boom. So now, because we are simulating that this comparator or this hopper is actually full, the system shut off. But now you can go ahead and replace that again for the repeater, and yes, the fuel machine is now boosted up again. And even if you've placed this in the direction that I've placed it, you can see that it is very, very quickly making a lot of bamboo. And there we have it. Both sides are now working to provide bamboo for the fuel input. And if you come close to over here, it's very loud, but it's also going to be a little bit heavy on the frame rates. However, your input is going to be here, and your frames should be just fine over this side. Now, because bamboo is really garbage to melt down items with, you need 4 bamboo sticks in order to melt down 1 block. Let this run and fill up before you use it the first time. You'll know when the machine is filled up by fuel, by the way, because after about 10 minutes, if you build it the wonky way like I did here, these machines will simply stop when the hoppers are all full. any moment. Yeah, that one stopped and that one stopped, and now it is completely fueled up. And this is also why we wanted that overflow lava, because otherwise those items would just be chilling over there. But now we should be good to go. This is a little bit nervous for me right now because I haven't actually tried this out. Let's just do 8 stacks for a test, and into the chest it goes. Should see the minecarts being shot away beautifully, and immediately the bamboo farm, the fuelinator, starts working once again. And I should raise my volume here a little bit. We then should see items coming out right down here any moment. Yep, here it comes. Oh, so beautiful. I seriously cannot get enough of this. Now, of course, over here, you do whatever you want with your items. So one thing could be to store them in a chest. You could do an item elevator or whatever you want. Remember that hopper pickup speed is not super quick. So, yeah, you're not gonna have the items coming in immediately if you have hoppers. But yeah, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. I'm not even sure what I want to do on the Hermitcraft server with my smelter yet. I just think it's so fun to stand down here and just receive all of the glass. Anyway, that is you all done, and that is the tutorial completed. So I hope that you have enjoyed and found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you're brand new, consider subscribing. I will put a world download down below in the description of this video in case I was bad at explaining something, or if you're just too lazy to listen to me and you just want to look at it yourself. Anyway, that'll be down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.